Everyone has dropped their coverage, basically, of everything else that's going on. It's time for Trump's DC military parade to kick off. It's supposed to start in 5 minutes, I think. About an hour until the parade started time in DC, and there are plenty of prime viewing spots wide open, particularly towards the beginning of the route along Constitution Avenue. Oh my God. No one is there. Not even the protest. Oh no, when you throw a birthday party and the only people that attend are paid to be there. This is kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie, this low key is the best possible thing that could have happened. Like maybe some like incredibly limited number of people and then like some obviously anti-Trump protesters. But like overall, just limited involvement is hilarious. Stop the fake news. This is DC today. Ignore the season. It's real. This is what DC looks like right now. They're all, and I'm hearing my sources on the ground are saying that they're incredibly stoked. Oh my God. Bro, this sucks so much. Oh, this sucks so much for Trump. Oh, that's awesome. This is exactly the kind of petty shit that he hates too. All around the country, there are millions of people on the streets from different walks of life, from different demographic backgrounds, marching against Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Donald Trump himself can't even get enough of his supporters to come watch his birthday party army parade. I'm sorry. I know this is like kind of libbed up, but this is exactly the type of shit that Donald Trump cares about. And this is fucking hilarious. Update on the cross from 16 minutes ago. Nowhere near the 200,000 expected. Oh my God. Dude, this is why I love protests. This is why I love like the fucking liberal protests as well. This right here, remember, this right here is a direct shot at the notion that like Republicans are super popular. They're all around and that their movement is popular and everybody loves them. People think that this is the case because of what they see online, what they see on Twitter, and it ends up changing the way that they see the world. I promise you, I always say this. If you go on Twitter, you think Elon Musk is the most popular guy on the planet, right? Like, holy shit, so many glazers. I mean, there's even still plenty of haters of Elon on Twitter as well. But like, if your only assessment of the world is conducted by who you consume online, if you see the giant numbers that people like Asmongold have in terms of audiences, and you look at Twitter, and you see all of the half-botted, half-popular support for neo-Nazi sentiment, you will genuinely develop a false sense of what the world looks like. Even people that voted for Donald Trump voted for him because they got duped into voting for him. There are still a shit ton of people who thought legitimately that Donald Trump was only going to deport these like supposedly criminal migrants that are a massive problem, it seems. And it has snapped back to reality very quickly once ICE started doing these idiotic and dangerous and scary operations in people's backyards and in people's neighborhoods. Oh my God, the protest is, or not protest, the parade has started.
Please welcome the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane.
It's so funny and it's so ass. No one cares.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and First Lady Melania Trump.
This shit is so sauceless. Look at how empty it is. He knows how empty that crowd is. He's sad. He's sad. You can tell he's sad. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Pack watch. R.I.P. Bozo. Millions of people on the streets of the United States protesting Trump all around the nation. Meanwhile, no one is attending his birthday party. This is proof, once again, that the repulsive far-right hug box that Twitter and online spaces have become is not representative of real-world support for MAGA and right-wing policies. Do not be deluded. Do not be discouraged. Become undeniable. Become unavoidable.
Oh, say, can you see?
Boo.
By the so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Whose broad stripes and bright stars
Republicans are gonna be like, this is DEI. This is this DEI singer.
ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
He looks like shit.
Before we even had a country, we had an army.
They started as a small, unorganized group of shop owners and farmers, but they fought the most powerful army in the entire world to a standstill in Concord, Lexington, and Bunker Hill.
Then our Continental Congress chose George Washington as general of our Continental Army.
But it wasn't until 1 year later, on July 4th, 1776, that news arrived of the signing of our Declaration of Independence.
Now we had a new army and a new nation.
It's like probably the worst time to try to instill patriotic feelings in this country when there's so much discontent and anger, where people are like, why can't we go back to the glory days? Because like right now, you're talking about the glorious past, you know, Revolutionary War, taking out a monarch, like removing a monarch's grip of power. Meanwhile, now all the army does is just brutalize like brown 14-year-old children so that a bunch of rich assholes can make money stealing the natural resources of said country and failing to do so in the process anyway.
Back in the day, and we see it as they progress through here. This is the start of the era of what would have been, what soldiers would have looked like and how they would have worn.
By the way,
we expect to see
straight up, Trump is so zesty with it because low-key, this is kind of cool. And this is exactly the type of shit that a zesty ass man would come up with. They actually hired a bunch of like professional costume designers, for the record, so that they could showcase the costume, like the uniforms of every single era. And I'm sorry, I like that. I will admit, I like that. I think it's cool, but that is something that a very zesty man with a penchant for art, who has an artistic vision, would come up with. Also, remember, parades, always gay. It is Pride Month. Parades, automatically gay. There is no way to make a parade straight. It's always a queer experience, and therefore, this is technically a pride parade.
The Old Guard also maintains 24-hour vigil of the tomb of the unknown soldier, while also conducting funeral services honoring our fallen heroes at Arlington National Cemetery.
Why is this
The regiment's 50
sauceless?
campaign streamed to
I think other countries that don't have much in terms of military conquest spend a lot more of their limited efforts on putting together sick-ass parades. That's why our parades look kind of sauceless. Low-key, the North Korean parade is better than this. Chinese parades are way sicker than this. North Korean parades are way sicker than this. I would go so far as to say the Russian parade was kind of ass too. I watched the Russian Victory Day parades. Like some of them looked kind of too. So I guess the more your military is actually put to use, the worse your parade looks.
Of diplomatic honor, and there's a big ceremony on the South Lawn. You always get
That's
the fife and
crazy.
drum corps as part of
Making black army soldiers dress up as that's crazy. That's wild. The American military is also obviously very diverse, especially the army is very diverse now. But it's just crazy to, you know, do that. Make a black man wear a powdered wig like that is not good. It's up, I think. What is this?
I do want to point out for
car
our
is sick.
viewers, we seem to be moving pretty quickly here through the eras of the U.S.
time
Army.
flies, as they say.
It
Aaron.
does, especially on Constitution Avenue
Yes.
here in Washington. We're now in the World War I era, looking at some of the vehicles that were used by the Army in
Bro,
that
he
time
looks
period.
sad.
A touring
Bro
car,
looks
a staff
sad.
car. And I believe these are members of the
Wait, they
42nd
got the
Infantry,
gay stuff on
division,
the
which was At the time,
What is this?
during
This
World
is
War I,
literally a pride
composed
parade.
of-
Okay, abort. This is literally a pride parade. Bro, they got the DEI band. They got some gay shit on their. Bro, what is happening? They got rainbow drums. This is literally what's going on? This is woke. The army is woke. Abort. Let's watch a real ass parade, chat.
同志们好。同志们好。
Cinema. LMFAO, but if Americans did this, you'd all be calling them Nazis. When China does it, is hilarious. First of all, I am pro parade. I have said this over and over again. It's one of the things that, like, actually my leftist community gets mad at me about is my pro military parade position. Also, ironically enough, it's actually liberals that say this is Nazi-like, but I guess they do say this is Nazi-like. And they say the same thing about Trump as well, to be fair. They're more consistent. I'm consistent as well, but in the opposite direction. I just wish that we had a little bit more marching discipline, you know?
So you're saying...
Like, these guys are just fucking walking. Like, they're not marching. They're just walking, bro. Like, look at how organized the Chinese military is. Versus this, they're like, oh, yeah, all right. They're schlubbing. They're not fully synced up.
Future enlistment
Like, look at
and
this.
desire to participate in the Army, because we are an all
Look at
volunteer
this.
force.
Are
Conscription
you
in the
kidding me?
Vietnam era. And so it is a chance to say thank you. And as the general also said,
Look
many
at this.
Americans don't have a chance to see in person. If you don't live near a base, if you're not in the capital city like this, you may not have much opportunity. And this is a day to take all of this in.
Here, look at tank
Transportation,
versus tank.
different types of warfare where some of these different vehicles were best suited. And it is, in some ways, it's daunting to see. When I was on Constitution last evening and the tank rolled by, I mean...
You see, we've been trying to keep up with the vehicles as they come by to be able to identify them for you.
This is the
The one in the
sickest.
foreground here is the high-speed tractor.
Will they show American ICBMs? Because I want to see that.
In the 1940s.
Let's see how much glaze is happening on Fox News.
I know this is just one day, but this celebration is supposed to last the entire year. Do you think this can be a reset for the country?
I do think so, because remember that it's the...
No one cares, bro. What do you mean a reset for the country? Yeah, it's a massive celebration. How joyous, how large, how vast.
It's the kickoff of a whole year of celebrations. And look, I know from having been in Sydney, Australia, when the Olympics came, how the entire country gets buoyed, the economy gets good, everybody is just in a great mood. And we are going to see that with multiple celebrations over the next year. This is just the start. And I think the pride and patriotism in this country, as let's hope at the same time the economy comes good, there is going to be such a feeling of joy and kind of positivity and energy in this country for the next year. I'm sure of it. And, you know, this parade is being watched not just in America, but around the world. And it gives succor to our allies who know that they have the strength and might of the American mighty military behind them. But it also gives pause to our adversaries who are there doing wrong around the world. And
Dog, first of all, you're Australian. Secondly, that is literally the thing that these other countries do, smaller countries do, and we make fun of them for doing that. And now America's saying this. That's hilarious, dude. Oh my God. This is like, I'm not libbed up enough to be like, oh, this is like North Korea, but like low key, this is like North Korea, bro. Like straight up. Oh, we're showing the world our military prowess by what? Marching through the street? An embarrassing public flop while the foreign policy crises you claimed you were uniquely capable of solving worsen immeasurably. Will the United States ever have a non-Brandon president? Oh, 100 P. This is an incredible take from Felix. We are so Brandonized. This is the most Brandonification, the Brandonized president. Shut the fuck up. Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
No. Brother, are you f***ing kidding me? Brother, we are so cooked. It's over. Pack it up. Country's done. Country's done, dude. The country is done. Coinbase, sponsor of the Valorant Championship and also the U.S. military parade.
And this is not pointless. This is money that's well spent.
Pointless.
So that we can
This is not pointless.
The Army, what it means to the United States, what they do every day to protect everyday
Yeah, this is really good. We get to have our boys out.
I don't have any concern.
Uniformed troops pushing Dana White's
I'm sure
energy.
that's a source of
A
competition.
soldier in uniform is handing out free cans of Form Energy, an American 250 sponsor, co-owned by Dana White. A rep from the company was taking a selfie with a soldier handing the products out. This is the most cooked country. We're done. We've literally, dude, I'm not kidding when I say this. This is like USSR dissolution levels of cooked. This is so humiliating. This is like every part of the existing federal government is basically being used as a vehicle for Donald Trump and his allies to make money. We are basically picking apart the scraps. This is like ripping copper wire off of the bones of the remaining federal apparatus. Wow. Amazing. UFC is a sponsor? Ain't no way. UFC is a sponsor? We're done. We're done. It's over. It's over, man. Oh, it's so cooked. This country is a goddamn meme, dude. It is such a meme.
When you're in the middle.
Yeah, this is like happening in the backdrop of political violence, a failed foreign policy, or I guess like mostly failed by design, but in the eyes of Americans, like a failure of foreign policy, of a promise to deliver peace that is not happening. America's most important ally getting rocked by America's #1 enemy. And you're just, you're over here trying to be like, nah, everything's fine. Look at this lame ass sponsored military parade, sponsored by Lockheed Martin, Oracle, Goldman Sachs, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram brands, Coca-Cola Company, Walmart, BNY, Form Energy, Exeger, Palantir, Coinbase, Scott's Miracle Grow. This shit is empty. What a waste of money. Yeah, no, we've seen it already. Drone aerial shots of the parade make it even sadder. Cleric, low-key, this parade is kind of bunk compared to USSR and DPRK ones. I know. That's why I was showing side by side the Chinese parade and the DPRK parade. I think one of the biggest problems is that like they're not doing it out in like a massive area where you can have like a couple tanks side by side and it's just like one after the next. It's also cooking the roads in the process. And not only that, but also our military doesn't march. Like they don't march in unison. Like they don't do any like serious marches.